So here are the basic tools that I used. On the left you'll see a stub nose Phillips. It's because you need the space to be able to get those screws out of the base of the toilet. And the only reason I needed a knife was to get the silicone off of those screws. Of course you'll need some type of light to be able to see these connections. And trust me, a couple knee pads will not hurt. So we begin. Here is our toilet. And the first thing we're going to do is reach down and remove these two screws, one on each side, that hold the toilet to the floor. So the first thing I had to do was scrape off some silicone they used just to cover the screw heads to keep moisture out. Here are the screws, and now we can move the toilet forward. Okay, so I slid it forward, and this is about all the space you're going to have to be able to reach back in there and try to disconnect these items. So I slid the camera down in there so you can see what I'm talking about. So what I did is I cut off the water, then I disconnected the water, and then I disconnected the power clip, and now I'm ready to disconnect the drain. With everything disconnected, I immediately found out there are two wires that are hardwired back to the switch. So I decided to leave those, not cut them, and I decided to flip the toilet over and work on it inside rather than take it outside. So now I have it flipped around so I can work on it, put a towel underneath of it, and I propped it up so I could see better. So here I'm going to come in, and the first thing I'm going to do is just disconnect this. It's going nowhere, just to get it out of my way so I can get internally and pull that motor out. I'll probably have to cut these tie wraps just to give me some more room also. As I said previously, I wanted to remove this piece, loosen this, take it out to give me more room to work. So I did that. I don't know if you can see, but when I looked inside, surprise, surprise, it's all jammed up. Just stuff jammed in there. Now, I don't know if I should go further and see if maybe there's stuff in the repeller, and also the propeller part, or put it back together and give it a go. But I've come this far, I better take a look. Okay, I removed this part, cleaned it out, and I will note that this connects to the drain. So the toilet tissue that was in here already went through the Macerator. So there's probably still some in the Macerator if it's not broken. Anyway, I took this off, cleaned it out. Next step is to get this out of here. Well, the first thing I noticed, there's a piece of Velcro wrapped around the motor. So I loosened the Velcro. I'm going to take it off before I get it all wet. It just zip ties, kind of Velcro-ish, to keep that motor in place up over this bracket right here. No big deal. So I'm going to get that off of here and I'll be back. Okay, the Velcro is gone. The next step is to get that motor out of there. I'm going to cut these two tie wraps right here. The tie wrap, one of them's holding the pipe and one of them's holding the wire. The pipe one at the top is, I'll cut that one after I take, there's a screw down here for an incoming water connection right there. That screw back in there. I'm going to disconnect that and then pull that off and then cut this, and the whole thing should pop out in my hand. After the entire unit popped out in my hand, I removed this clamp from the bottom of the macerator that held the gasket in place. Okay, I took those two connectors off, I pull it out, and lo and behold, look what's inside. So all I have to do is clean that out and then put it back together. Okay, so this is just sitting in there now, but I have it back into the gasket. I still need to put that band back on it, and I did not tighten the tie wrap at the top. Since I already took the tie wrap out, now I have to make sure everything lines up before I tighten the tie wrap or tighten this down here. or else my drain won't come back into the proper spot. And in addition to that, the water has to be hooked into there. So all that has to fit correctly. There is an advantage to cutting the tie wrap at the top, the one that I'm now replacing, and I have it in loose. The advantage is I'm going to leave it loose until I actually hook up the sewer line back into here and the water line into here, and that'll give me some play to connect those, to attempt to connect those when I put it back together. And then after that, I'll use a pair of pliers and reach down in and pull on this tie wrap and tighten it up. So, okay, I've put some things back together. I reconnected the clamp there at the bottom where the Macerator connects into the gasket. If I get any leaks, it might be from right there. That's what I'm concerned about. And I also reconnected the one up here. I don't know if you can see it. It's that's one of them, and the other one's right there in the middle. So I tightened that one down, put the Velcro strap back around the motor, which the motor, when the toilet's upright, the motor looks like this, but since I have the motor up on its end, you can see the Velcro is tied around that way. You could have put the Velcro on first before you put this, connected up that pipe. Doesn't really matter. Then, as you can see, I still have a tie wrap up there and it's loose. And my plan again is to connect all this up, the water and the drain. Yeah, I connected this piece back on also. But I'm going to connect the drain, hopefully these two, and then tighten this up because it'll give me more flexibility when I'm trying to connect all these. I'm not looking forward to that part. Okay, the toilet is sitting back in place almost. What I did is I put the drain on first, and I'm glad I did not tighten the tie wrap because the tie wrap gave me some more freedom to hook up this drain, to tighten this one up. Kept this loose because I did not tighten the tie wrap. So the next thing I'm going to do is hook up the water. That's the last connection. And then when I drop the toilet a little bit, I'll be able to tighten that tie wrap. It's up in here. Pull on the tie wrap and cinch it up a little bit more. Do not forget to turn the water back on. I've got the water off right now. Otherwise you'll be pulling out the toilet again. Okay, so before I put the screws in that hold it to the floor, I decided I wanted to do a test. So I press this button. Yes, it's filling with water. The big test, will it empty? Is that not the best sound you ever heard? That's going to be on the rock and roll #1 charts. Hey, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. And I'll add a photo or two here that I took from inside the toilet. And this is the Macerator 8620 RV.